What happens after that first breakthrough moment? After your teen opens up, after you respond differently, does it actually last? In today's episode, I'm giving you part 2 of my conversation with Dina, where she shares what happened next with her daughter, and we talk about how small changes in how we show up can begin to build something much deeper than just one good conversation. Do you long to build lasting connections with your teenager and have conversations that build trust instead of conflict? Welcome to Connect with Your Teens. I'm Terry, a mom, tutu, which is Hawaiian for grandma, and communication coach who went from feeling dismissed and shut out by my teens to becoming a valued and trusted person in their lives. I help moms like you reconnect, speak in ways that invite peace, and create conflict-free conversations, all guided by grace and anchored in God's love. Grab a latte or a favorite cup of tea, and let's get into the heart of it. Have you ever walked away from a conversation with your teen and thought, why did it go that way again? You're trying to stay patient. You care so deeply. But in the moment, it's hard to stay anchored in who God's called you to be. Mom, I was there, and I'm so grateful for the coach God brought into my life right when I needed her. I want you to know that you don't have to walk this journey alone either. In my 1-hour communication coaching call, we walk through what's really happening in your conversations that could be causing the disconnection and give you tools to help you respond in ways that build trust and connection. You'll walk away with a personalized relational breakthrough plan, giving you the clarity to relate and communicate with confidence, courage, and those specific actions you need to bridge the gap between you and your teen, plus a repeatable way that you can stay anchored in the heart of Christ. If you're ready to trade that disconnection and fear for God's peace and connection with your teen and start building that bridge today, then click the link in the show notes below or book your call at connectwithyourteens.com/1-HOUR-communication coaching. Again, that link is connectwithyourteens.com/1-HOUR-communication coaching. Hey Mom, welcome back to Connect with Your Teens. I'm your host, Terry Lee, and today we're continuing my conversation with Dina Windle, a mom of a teenage daughter. This is part 2, so if you haven't listened to part 1 yet, I encourage you to go back and start there because Dina shared a powerful moment that began to shift the connection with her daughter. And in this episode, we're going a little deeper into what started to change after that, what she noticed, what she learned, and how that connection continued to grow. We are bridging so many beautiful nuggets of how communication can change in our interactions with our kids. I don't want you to miss it. We'll backtrack just a bit and jump right in to the rest of our conversation. And at one point, it's going to sound like we end, but we keep going, and I had to leave this in because there was just so many extra good nuggets in there. All right, here we go. By being able to stay anchored and let her feelings, her perspective be hers and not take it on as your identity. I mean, huge, 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 huge.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
get excited when these things happen. Oh,
And you should, because I'm telling you, I was desperate before I saw your video podcast. I would come in my room and I kid you not, I would just cry by the side of my bed, get on my hands and knees and pray to God. And I said, please, God, bring me some help.
oh my gosh.
I need a Christian woman who's been through this. And I just went on the podcast and I put teen Christian help communicating, and your podcast came up. I listened to the trailer and I went, oh my gosh, could this be the answer?
Wow.
And I've been listening ever since. And not only listening, it's just not listening, it's using the tools.
That is key.
You know, you could have all the wood to make your house, but if you don't have hammer nails, you're not going to make that house. The wood's just going to sit. And so that's what it was with her. I said, I've tried everything. Let me just try this. And for that week, it was, as I said, it was dead silence. Although I would just say, okay, I'd love to hear about your day.
Wow.
Love to hear about your day.
And then she's like, wait, haven't you haven't asked me. Oh, that is so, I love hearing that, how the Lord brought us together through the podcast. That is just beautiful.
Totally. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And the tools, taking the tools and doing something with them and practicing them, even when you don't see the immediate result.
Yeah.
Right. Because you had to kind of stay in there for a week. Oh my gosh, I just love this. I
Yeah.
love your story, Dina. And what the other piece here is what you are modeling for her.
So big.
Oh,
That is
huge.
so
How to
big.
communicate, how to
Yeah.
care for people, how
Yeah.
to accept each other where we are and not take that on ourselves. I mean,
Yeah.
that's huge. And you're communicating, you're teaching it, you are teaching, but you're teaching it in a way that is lifestyle modeling. I mean, really, that's what Jesus did, right? It's like
Yeah.
walk the walk and you're
Yeah.
doing it and she's catching on, she's experiencing the positive effects of it and the joy of it. And that's what we experienced with our kids as well. It was so much easier for them now go and do this in their own relationships, right? And friendships and things. So,
Right,
oh my
right. It's just not limited to you and your child.
goodness.
Communication is used everywhere with every age
Yeah.
individual. I feel that's what we're lacking a lot with the email interaction, that it becomes so sterile. It's almost formish. You pump in whatever and you send it. Where
Right.
when you speak face to face, you see the emotion behind it. You see
Mm.
the love behind it. It's definitely that how Jesus modeled with us. He took that time. He prayed first, right? He
Mm.
came in and he spoke to whomever who needed that care and got down to the same level, saying, you know what, he did most of the time he did listening.
Yeah, he
Like,
did. That's so
yeah, the demoniac. Okay, tell me about it.
uh-huh.
Mary I'm sorry, at the well, the woman at the well.
Uh-huh.
She sat there and she told him her whole life. And he's like, yeah, I know that. Aren't we also told to be at the foot of Jesus? Martha and Mary.
Mm.
Martha, you're going around prepping. What the best
Yep.
thing you should be doing is sitting down like at my feet, like Martha is doing, listening.
He was the model. He,
Yeah.
showed that example of God and how he wants to have connection with us,
Yeah.
right?
We were made to
We were
have
made for that.
community. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, very powerful there. Is there anything else that you wanted to share? I've got like a final kind of question here, although you've kind of answered it in a lot of ways as you've shared, but
And no, I just see, he brought me through that valley
Mhm.
and it was painful. It really was. But like Jesus does, he brings you through and he stretches you and he educates you and he
Yeah.
makes you a stronger person. I think through that, like our relationship is so much stronger now. Yes, it's shifted. No,
Mhm.
she's not my baby anymore, but
Right, right.
that's awesome though. That is so awesome that she's not my baby anymore. And I can see her growing her wings and I can see her just treating her friends like that, teaching her friends about Jesus as well, reading Bible studies with her. And she's come even closer to Christ, which just been so amazing just through this
Mm.
loving way of communicating with her. Again, within the last month, she's like, I want to do more in church. We're going on a missions trip in October because she feels God is calling her. And
Oh
it's
my God.
just,
Makes me
it's
so
crazy. It's just
yeah.
crazy. And I think that sometimes we pray too little.
Mm.
And God wants us to pray big things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And relationships is one of them. It's not such a small thing to be able to communicate. To me, it's the entire essence of Jesus, who he is. So pray big, not just relationship with your daughter for her to tell you when she's struggling, but for her to tell you when she's having the best time in her life, for her to tell you like the smallest little thing, like she's funny now. She's like, I farted in class today. I'm like, all right, so those weird, uncomfortable moments, but they just tell you who she is
Oh.
pray big, mothers. Pray big that you're not just praying that to get out of this suffering in this
Mm.
season of suffering and how it hurts, in this in non-communication with your daughter or son. Pray big that you do these small little things, not just with her, but with everybody. The
Yeah.
tools, just not for your daughter, but man, it's just so, so, so good. It saved our relationship for sure. This
Oh.
podcast, I'm telling you, Terry, it has saved our relationship. And it's so Christian based. And so what Jesus did, that it was just like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm asking her the same thing every single day. And she's falling for it. It's just, it,
I love that.
it's
Oh,
crazy, but it is. It's just I don't know why we can't figure that out for ourselves. And I just think it's just we're too focused on self
hmm.
and not to that simple listen and just be quiet.
Yeah, we're trying to find solutions, right?
Right,
Trying to
right,
find the fixes because that's what we've done all these years.
right,
Is we fix it.
right.
And to just be quiet and calm and listen. And oh my gosh, I just love that. I'm so happy, happy, happy for both of you. And that she gets to experience God's love in such a powerful way through you, even
Yeah.
through your silence, through
Mhm.
your accepting her where she is, letting her have her feelings and emotions. It's just kind of funny because as moms, like we get emotional, but when our kids have those emotions, like somehow we think we need to stop it or correct it or need to fix it or change their minds about it or something like that, instead of letting them
Right.
just be in the moment and just unpack it. Because that's what we all need, right? Is that person to listen to us, whether it's God or a family member or a friend. We just
Right.
want to be heard. We want to be known. We want to be seen. And when we are, and that's what I think I was coming back to, that is when we give our kids that gift of listening, that gift of presence, they are experiencing the God within us, right?
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
they actually even know him or not,
Right.
they're feeling this hug, this embrace, this love from him. I just love how it's changing her in her relationship, being able to hear from God herself, in these
Yes.
ways.
Yes.
So powerful. You kind of answered. I was going to say, if a mom's listening who feels stuck where they are, what would you tell her to focus on first? And you said it, prayer, big prayers, not just
Big
the little
prayers.
prayers. This was powerful. Not just the prayer to get me out of the suffering, to
Right.
change my child, right? I did a lot of
Right.
the prayers in those days, but work in my child, change me. You know what I mean? Let
Yeah.
me be that instrument of
Right.
peace that's brought to them. So,
Right.
yay, yay.
It's awesome, awesome, and I continue to listen, and I continue to apply different tools to her every single day, and it's just I can't say enough. I just can't say enough.
Fantastic. Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
happy. Oh, yay. I'm happy for you. I'm just so glad that
Yeah.
God's using the podcast,
Yes.
too. And people are using it, moms are using the
Oh,
tool. Just,
you can't. The first time I listened to your trailer, I passed it along to every single teen mom because I
oh,
know many of them. I said, you need to listen to this. I
oh,
have a friend of mine who I see almost every Monday, and her daughter is 13. So she's 3 years younger than my daughter. And we go and ask about the week with our daughters. How's it been? What are you using? What tools are you using? Have you listened to this one that Terry has done today or last week?
oh, how
You need
sweet.
to use this over. And she's like, we'll sit there and listen. She goes, oh my gosh, I didn't even consider that. I'm like, use it. Get back to
Oh
me
my
and tell me
God.
how it went.
Oh my goodness. I love this because, part of my vision, part of my passion is, yes, giving the tools, empowering all of you as moms to take this and spread it, not just
Yeah.
to your kids, but when we spread it to our kids, we're spreading it to generations, right?
Yes.
This
Yes.
isn't just going to stop here because
No.
they're being changed in it as you're being changed in it.
Right.
And you get to share it with others because that's one of the greatest, most powerful things is for you as a mom, Dina, to be able and share your story with other
Oh
moms
yeah.
because it
Yeah.
encourages them that,
It's
hey,
gone
please
through
do
it's gone through my church. Every teenage mom
it.
that I got my hands on, I said, you need to listen to this, regardless of whether it's a girl or boy. And
Oh
we have a
gosh,
very
that's
young
awesome.
church, and many of them are teens, and they're like, I can't
Oh.
believe you sent this to me. This is awesome. And I'm like, yes, keep listening.
Oh, that is so cool. Then you have that sense of community, which I love that you've created that because when we're doing this together, it is so
Yeah.
much easier.
Yeah, it is. Instead of a community of moms who are complaining about how their
Yeah.
kids are not communicating and complying, who just don't say anything but shut the door and slam it closed without telling
Yeah.
you what you've done wrong that day. It's a
Uh-huh.
community of have we anchored ourselves today? And
Mm.
what I've also started to do is texting your daughter instead of asking her, do you have your homework ready? It's more of, I am so proud of how you handled this week. I am so proud how you've gotten yourself together and all these subjects that you have to do, and you get everything done on time. I'm so proud of you without wanting something in return.
Ah,
That's what we've been working on this week is just saying, you know what? Last night you drove 10 miles in the dark and it was awesome. I was not afraid, putting a little comic spin on it, So
oh,
yeah.
that's so huge
Yeah.
because, yes, now you're able to be honest with her,
Right.
your fears that come up, right? Or your
Yes.
concerns. And it's not coming from this place of, well, it's coming out like this, you got to do this because blah, blah, blah. When we're
Right.
really just afraid we've got
Yeah.
the years that are going on, and they
Right.
take it, as you said earlier, I'm not doing something right, or she doesn't think I can make this happen, or I'm not good enough,
Right.
or whatever it is. You're just being honest now, which, I mean, what a
Yeah.
gift for them in any of their future relationship, right?
Yes. Good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much, Gina, for
You're
coming on the
welcome.
show and sharing your story, being so transparent and encouraging other moms as well. I'm just so blessed. And I'm blessed that you're all blessed.
Yes, yes, I feel the same way. I totally feel the same way.
Oh, thank you, Dina.
You're
You take care.
welcome. Bye-bye. Be blessed.
Bye-bye. Oh,
Yeah, I just, every time I think like this is a high point,
mhm,
like 2 days from, later, something else comes up that we've never talked about, but she's comfortable. And, exactly like we
mhm.
did last night. 2 months ago, she would not have sat down and said, you know what, Mom? I feel like you're disrespecting me, basically. And I would use your mimic, not mimicking, but telling her back, okay, am I hearing you right? You feel that I'm
Yeah, yeah,
disrespecting you
reflecting.
because, yes,
Hmm.
because of this, because I told you to clean up your room. And
Hmm.
she would say, and then even in one of them, she said, well, I felt like you were disrespecting me because you were telling me how to drive in the car. You told me I was speeding. And I said, okay, so I disrespected you because I was telling you speeding. But then on top of that, I was able to reinforce with her, okay, well, you don't have your license yet. So it wasn't a matter of disrespect. It was a matter of making sure that we were following the rules. And they're not my rules. There's a speed limit. We're driving at night and it's icy conditions. And
Wow.
so she's like, yeah. And after she heard all that, she said, maybe that's not it then. I said, okay. She goes, maybe I was just mad because you were telling me to slow down and I didn't want to slow down. I said, well, maybe that's what it is, but I don't need any disrespect. And again, reinforced her that again, that I didn't mean disrespect, that, all through this week, she's been doing great. And I'm a
Yeah.
parent who's concerned about the dark, the ice, and
Mhm.
about your life and about other people's lives. And she
Beautiful.
doesn't have a license yet. So,
Right. Well, yeah, there's that too. Well,
yeah,
and you told her the reason why. That was a huge
yeah,
shift that we made when we started getting a hold of this is like, okay,
right.
we're no longer just telling you what to do because I said so, right?
Yes,
It's
yes.
and I don't know that that was ever good for us to do.
No,
I don't think it
no,
was.
no.
We just said there's no parenting manuals except our models.
Right. And my
Do
model
your
was
best.
not a good model.
Yeah, yeah. We
Yes.
had lots of love and support, but
Yes.
our parents have issues too.
Yeah.
And so that being able to get a hold of that and just say, "Ah,
Yeah.
this is what's going on. This is the reason why.
Right.
And oh my goodness, I love that. In your being able to reflect that back. Okay, I might add this to the back end of the podcast. This is so huge. You being able to reflect back to her helped her to process what
Yes.
was really going on and that
Yes.
maybe that wasn't it, maybe it was this. And that is the
Yes.
power of the summarizing or the reflecting back to
Yes.
others.
That was like a shift in her head
Yes.
that, you know what? I wasn't mad at you for disrespecting me at that moment. Almost like I take it back sort of thing. If you were a young kid, you go, oh, I take it back. I take it back.
Yeah.
But in a totally amicable setting,
Hmm.
without yelling or without crying, she was able to determine that without me beating it into her head.
Yeah.
It was all about, again, just retrospect and repeating what she said to me because I'll start out like, let me make sure I understand you because this is what I'm hearing. You tell me, okay, this is what I
Right.
hear. And then her saying, oh, well, it came out of my mouth, but I didn't really mean it like that either. And so it's like, okay, so we both were miscommunicating with each other. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay because we both talking about it
Yeah.
and we understand that. And isn't that what a relationship's supposed to be? You don't want me telling you you're wrong all the time. I get that. But now that we're talking about it, we're both wrong. So it's
Yeah.
not who's right, who's wrong. It's just,
Right.
a matter of me respecting you. And I do. And
Hmm.
I have no problem telling you I respect you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely quite like I was just blown away when she was able to sit back and say, yeah, no, that was not what I meant. And you did not disrespect me at that time.
It's so huge because we don't always know how we're coming across to someone else, right?
Yeah.
We're just feeling the emotion. She was feeling the emotion of
Yeah.
feeling disrespected. And these
Right.
are the things that came to her mind that were
Yeah.
around that feeling. And she just said them. And you reflecting back, she was able to go, oh, no, I don't think that is what is going on.
Yeah.
And I love what you said.
Yeah.
You were both miscommunicating. And we're going to miscommunicate,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's just kind of a given because of where we're feeling things, what happened
Yeah.
that day at school, what happened at work, what happened, with a spouse or another relationship or with a sibling. I mean, we're going to miscommunicate, but the power of the summary, of the reflecting back, can help dissolve those miscommunications and make them more clear and more true, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it was like this lie that had been perpetuated,
Yes.
it just in the emotion of things.
Right.
Yeah.
And if we hadn't spoken about it, then she would still be on the in the mind that my mother once again is disrespecting me. She's never going to talk to me about it because she thinks she's right. And so you've got that wall that goes up bigger and bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do this, and that's been another big thing for me, is to not re-speak, but just to clarify
Mm-hmm.
with her to make sure that
Right.
I understood her correctly. So reflection. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
reflection. Yeah, I think those are great words that you use too in order to say that back to her. I just want to make sure I understand.
Yeah.
Let me just
Yeah.
take this
And
back,
not
right?
and not in a sarcastic way, in a really
Right.
meaningful, like, I really want to understand. Because I think in the past, when you get emotional, you will go to that sarcasm and say, and this is what you're saying, instead of
Yeah.
being sure and
Yeah.
saying, is this what you're saying? So you could say the same thing, but depending on how it's coming out, and before if you're not anchored, then it will come out with the emotions like, this is what you're saying, instead
Right.
of, is this what you're saying?
Tone
Yeah.
is important.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, thanks for sharing that extra piece, Dina. I so
You're
appreciate
welcome. You're
it. Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
That
Take
was a good
care.
one.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. Bye
Bye.
bye. Oh my goodness, Mom. I hope that you enjoyed this two-part conversation with Dina, and I hope that you're encouraged. Just pick one that really resonated with you and just start trying it. You'll see such a big difference when you really start anchoring into Christ and who he says about you, and then just wait to see what Holy Spirit does. Thanks again for joining us. Remember, you can book a one-to-one communication coaching call where we go through what's causing the disconnections in your relationship and give you tools to help you move forward with next steps and start breaking through that disconnection and building trust and connection with your teen. All right, so as always, this is Terry Lee, and I'll see you next time on Connect with Your Teens. I hope this podcast inspired and encouraged you, and if so, would you share it with another mom who's praying for change in her relationships? And I'd be so blessed if you take 30 seconds to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Your review helps more moms find hope and the encouragement they've been searching for. I'd love to connect with you. Come join my Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/connect with your teens. You don't have to figure this out alone. There's real support waiting for you inside. From one mom who used to walk on eggshells, I see you, and I'm cheering you on. Remember, God loves, adores, and delights in you, and you are the best mom for your kids.